Do you want me to keep... I've got a couple of background options. I need to turn this down for me, though. Hold on. There we go. That background, oh my. This background? What do you think? FX, he helped me kind of figure out what I wanted. I looked up some raining ones, and then I was like, I want a cozy one to start this little, like, late night stream. I can still hear... So it crackles. What do we think of this? Oh, it's got, like, rain background. Oh, hold on. I want to pause this. Is that too loud? We're good? Okay. So, we're going to be reading through... Okay, hold on. Flip horizontal. No. Is it flip? No. Okay. FX. 9 months? Oh my gosh. It's been 9 months. It's our sub baby. I've been streaming for 9 months now. Wow. Okay, we're going to be reading through this. It's Destiny Grimoire Anthology Volume 1. 9 months. That's wild. Do you want me to show you all the little pictures too? Does that look funny? Michael! Twins! Should I tell my husband? Yes? Okay. So, in the front... Oh, wow, this is really bright. I'm so sorry. I'm not set up for this. To our community, you've become the main characters in the stories we tell. You've filled our worlds with your light and your friendship. Thank you for your passion for our games and for each other, most of all. Thank you for playing. Is it? Hi, Kitty Claus. I was like, I have a date with my community tonight. I'm reading lore. If you didn't get that from the title. All right. So I think how I'm going to do this is I'm going to kind of like read through a section and then I'll address chat. I didn't want to say it while you were streaming. I was like, I know. XYZ reset. Lizzie? Shrouded. I know, super late, right? What even is this? I'm reading tonight. So it's, as everybody kind of trickles in, it's going to get a little odd for me to figure out. How are you doing? It's so good to see you. Welcome to the cozy Thunderstorm Library. I wish I had this library. This is like out of Game of Thrones, isn't it? Yes, get lurky. Wow, get lurky and cozying. FX, thank you so much for that gifted sub to Pink. And to Lizzie. You're too kind, FX. Thank you so much. You're way too kind. Michael told me what you did. Lizzie, not Lissy. Okay. I was like, I know I've seen your name. I don't remember if it's Z's or Y's. Well, Brittany. Okay. Forward. The stories tell of a golden age long ago when our civilization spanned the system. It was a bright and hopeful time, but it didn't last. With these few words, the first delicate seeds of a universe were sown. Many hands had already begun to nurture the primordial ideas and form the bedrock of a world. Many, many more would soon come to lend themselves to the task of tending what would become vast and varied gardens of story, and of names and places springing forth from the fundament. Some grew and grass for the light blossomed, and as human creations so often do, many of our worlds, myths, and monuments fell to ruin. And now, here you are in the midst of 1,000 radiant roses and ruinous ends. within this anthology is a selection of voices. The fictional, but very much living characters that have witnessed the collapse of an age, yet go and strive to shape a future to their own design. These tales, too, are only just a beginning. As you read, you may detect 1,000 more stories still to come, dormant, hidden deep within the fertile soil. They'll whisper and grasp and dare to take root in your imagination, to inspire you not only with what is revealed and implied by these words, these pages, these works, but to allow you to imagine what may yet emerge. Each new revelation may itself be a seed to sow, nurture, and tend in the shaping of worlds to come. Okay, that's the foreword. Wow, I should face it this way. Except I'm trying to figure out how to flip my camera. I don't remember how to flip. Let me see if I can fix that real quick. So you can see what I'm putting on there. And I sound okay to everybody? Like the background's not too much. Let's see. Oh. I'm upside down. Let's grab that. Let's right click again. Background is fine. Your volume is good. Maybe here. For this though, I can set it a little closer. Is that better? As you can hear my breathing and everything. Let's see. You see Cat Tree? Do kitties appear? Yes. And actually, I've got one. It's going to be hard to see her. Hold on a second. That's one right there. That's Umbra. Hi, love. Hey, you. Umbra. She's ignoring me. Umbra, what are you doing? Nope. Hi. Hi, pretty. And then the other one's a little, The other one's like a little dilute calico, and she's much smaller than that one. Her name? Yeah, so we've got Umbra and Yara, and we just started letting them out by themselves. I'm trying to figure out how to flip this. I'm so sorry. Let's see. Nope, not full screen. Nope. Transform. Nope. I'm upside down again. Oh. Is that the right way? I don't remember. Let's move me back over here. I can put myself in a chair. Like, we'll sit right here by the fire. Just kidding. Sorry. Is this the right way now? Oh, it's totally the right way. Yes. Okay. So we just read through the introduction. No, we read through the foreword. Sorry. Intro. I've always felt that this world contains secrets, forgotten stories waiting to be discovered. However, like many players, I first ignored that feeling and just pursued precious loot. It was only after my vault was full and my enemies defeated that I asked why. Why am I doing this? So it began. I read the journals of defeated enemies, the memories of a dying ghost, the etchings on the barrel of a weapon, and realized there was much more to this world. I became not only a player, but a storyteller, a chronicler of Destiny's history, infusing my discoveries with my own perspectives and interpretations. Weapons were no longer just weapons, armor no longer just armor, and enemies no longer just targets. Understanding the lore of Destiny complemented and enhanced the gameplay. Pulling the trigger now had weight. Rockets howled. We have a streaming. I have triplets. Sorry, I needed to wait for the page. I'm so sorry. I got excited. Pulling the trigger now had weight. Rockets howled with the sacrifice of fallen guardians. I was not the first, and I will not be the last. Many others have been inspired by the history and fiction of Destiny, piercing together fragments of the Destiny universe in their own way. Some stories are hidden, misleading, deceptive, and still fiercely debated. Sorry. This anthology does not set out to solve these disputes, but instead entice you to join the conversation. Destiny Grimoire Anthology Volume 1, Dark Mirror, is about your path as a guardian and the haunting temptation of the dark. The collection of lore entries that follow challenges to see this world through different perspectives. The vanquished, the corrupted, and the shattered. It does not represent everything, but rather presents a version of events told by many characters through many eyes. The truth is for you to decide. From a fellow guardian. Dark Mirror. Let's try something. Hold on. What if nope, I don't like that. Just kidding. Chapter 1, A Book of Sorrow. What is this violent ritual? These tales of suffering, where all ends in a feast of maggots and rot laid on a wormwood table for gods to feast on misery. But is not the light also served by savage sacrifice, accepted wounds, blood spilled on the dust of distant worlds? Life and death and life and death and life and death are locked in a battle that never ends. The cycle is the same. The pain is the same. We eliminate those who oppose the light. They annihilate those who do not worship the dark. In the end, only sorrow remains. Who is here to tuck you in? FX is here to tuck you in, and so is Michael. Verse 1 of 0. So, this is the artwork, and here's the page for you. Dearest sister, it's taken me 2 years, a quarter of our lives, but I found the proof. We aren't native to the fundament. Our ancient ancestors came here to hide. The plate of stone we live on, our osmium court, is one fragment of a rocky planet that crashed into the fundament and broke apart. All the other nearby continents, the helium drinkers, the bone plaza, the star cutters, came from the same world. Perhaps the other races of the fundament are migrants too. We live on shrapnel of our homeworld, floating on an ocean deep inside a gas giant. That's what fundament must be, a titanic gas planet. The endless storm above us must be one layer of the atmosphere and the sea we float on. There's more down beneath it, so much more. You understand what this means, Sethona. The timid truth is a lie. We aren't meant to be the world's prey. We weren't born to live and die in the dark. We have a better destiny. Tell our father, Sister Sethona. This is the proof of his life's work, with love, for your second birthday. Your first surviving sister, Arash. Verse 1:1, Predators. Predators and menaces, carved to endure by Zyro, third surviving sister of the Osmium King's last brood. A storm joy is a living cloud. When it passes over our continent, it lowers its feeding tentacles. On each tentacle are the bait stars. Although light makes you happy, you must avoid it. You will be eaten. A storm joy is a good way for an old person to choose death. Also, a daring knight can cut the bait stars from the tentacles. I have 6. Falling. If you fall off the edge of our continent, you will die in the ocean. This is a special hazard when our father, the Osmium King, uses the engines. Helium drinkers. The currents of the fundament ocean bring us near other continents. The helium core is near us now. There are of our species, but they're our enemies. Their knights raid us every day. Helium drinkers have 2 legs, 2 arms, and 3 eyes, just like us. But they are bright/evil. I want to be a knight and fight them. The helium drinker ambassador ate 10 of my sisters as tribute. This is normal, however I resent it. Mothers. Mothers can fly. They live much longer than 10 years. Mothers are extremely smart and guard their spawn. If you try to tamper with the eggs, they will eat you. Sathona wants to eat jelly and become a mother when she turns 4. Storms. The rain is often poisonous. Sometimes it dissolves flesh. When lightning misses the lightning farm, it can vaporize a person. This entire world is deadly to us. Mysteries. The fundament is very large. We are the smallest things in it. If you don't understand something, it will probably kill you. My teacher, Tao, says this is why we have such short lives, so we can breed and adapt quickly. Moon waves. My sister Arash is afraid of moon waves. When she gets back from her expedition to the tungsten monolith, I will ask her why. Verse 1-2, the hateful verse. Sorry, let me adjust a little. I'm not quite cozy. Maybe I'll pull up the rocking chair. Right? If you don't understand something, it'll probably kill you. Has he? We'll probably get to that at some point. We're only on page 4 out of who knows how many. I don't know how long I'll do this for, but I need to make sure I drink water. Or this is not going to last long. For the consideration of the Helium Court, written in desperation, the sealed secret. I am Tao, sterile mother, teacher to the children of the osmium throne. As a mother, I live long. As a neuter, I can rise above the small battles of court politics. I alone see the patterns of survival. Alone I designed the great engines that move the osmium court now. Alone I must act to save my kingdom. Senility has claimed my lord, the osmium king. He is 10 and mad. The study of ancient text consumes him. Today he raves about moons above the storm. Tomorrow he will wander the halls, speaking to his familiar, a dead white worm from the deep sea. He keeps it in a glass and tends to it, and he neglects the duties of a king. The osmium king has 3 surviving heirs, each 2 years old. Zyro, the youngest and bravest, who wants to be a knight. Sathona, most clever, who wants to be a mother. Arash, navigator child, who dreams of the infinite ocean. Tomorrow she will return from the tungsten monoliths. None of these are suitable heirs. None of them will protect the osmium court from howling fundament. Zyro can fight but not lead. Sathona can think but not fight. Arash's curiosity will draw her from her duty. I fear for all future children. Soon the osmium king will lock himself into the royal orrery to study the moons. Gather your knights, O helium drinkers, and invade our continent. Kill the 3 heirs. I will rule the osmium court as your regent and build engines for you. And if I fail, let the Leviathan in the deep eat me. Written in grief, this hateful request, Tao, osmium mother, neutered to watch. Or at least laments how guardians never seem to have understand. Wow. To understand anything, to have power. Oh, yeah, we don't really respect anything. Oof. Sisters. Oh, sorry. Oh, how did you say it? Like Teox? Teox? So there's this place in New Mexico called Taos. And I just kind of... Taox? Tauhawks? Tauhawks? Yeah. Oh, okay. Taux? See, it is awkward. Yeah, it's almost like Taos, except with an X. Taux? Maybe that, you think mine is more correct? I don't know. I'm just kind of flowing with it. Let me turn on a light behind me. I'll be right back. Look, there's the kitty right there. Okay. Let's try this again. I think the little one is sitting on Prey's lap. Octavius, what's up? I need to figure out how to sit a little better. Because it's a little odd to read like this. It's not a bad thing. I'm not complaining. I am super quiet, I know. I'm sorry. Is that better? Just kidding. I'm trying, Octavius. I have my volume as high as it goes, so I'm so sorry. I just need, so my mic is on a little tripod. So it's really Blongo ASMR, right? She's murdering a hair tie. You missed the beginning, so you can't critique. Yeah, what are you talking about? Okay. Verse 1 of 3, or 1-3, the oath. Sisters, this is how an oath is done. Put your left hands on the mast, close to mine. Take the knife in your right hand. Push it through your left hand, straight between the bones. Now, carve a bloodline down the mast. Speak your oath. I am Zyro, the youngest daughter of the dead king. I will take back my osmium court and kill the traitor, Tau. On my left eye, I swear vengeance. Hi. Look. This is the little one. She's not as little as she was. She's waving. She's gonna scratch us. In the blood oath is made. I am Sithona, middle daughter of the dead king. I will take back my home and eat the mother jelly. I will raise my spawn on the corpse of the helium king. On my right eye, I promise this. In blood the oath is made. Now, I will help you make your oath, sister. I will help it too. I am Arash, the first daughter of the dead king. I will chase my father's last scream warning. I will know what changed the motion of our moons. If the end of the world is coming, I will understand why. Boogie, hi. How are you? Long time no see. This is really angled high. There we go. Let's see. Is that a little better sound-wise? That's good to hear. I'm doing well. Just reading bedtime stories. Destiny Remore, Volume 1. On my center eye, I swear, I will understand. In blood, the oath is made. In blood. Thank you, sisters. We have only my ship left to us, but the ship is freedom. We have secrets to hunt, stormlit realms to explore, and great armies to raise. Put up the lightning sails, and we will voyage far. Verse 1-4. Syzygy. The Syzygy, carved to endure by Arash. The high vengeance. Only Zyro's bait stars let us escape. Only Sithona's tricks let us reach the coast. But now that we have my ship, I must lead the way. I am the navigator. We may never see our homes again, Zyro, seized with hate and fury with Tau. But this is my deepest fear. Our civilization drifts on the fundament, at the tungsten monoliths. I learned that thousands of other species drift with us, coexisting on the vast world sea, and the tides of the fundament move us all. The timid truth says that we are the smallest, most fragile things alive, the natural prey of the universe. Tau would have us believe that our ancestors came to the fundament to hide from the hungry void. My father died afraid, not of the vile Tau or helium drinkers, but of his orrery. He screamed to me, Arash, my first daughter, the moons are different, the laws are bent. And he made the sign of a syzygy. Imagine the 52 moons of fundament lining up in the sky. It wouldn't take all 52, of course, just a few massive moons. But this is my deepest fear. Imagine their gravity pulling on the fundament sea, lifting into a swollen bulge. Imagine that bulge collapsing as the Sizhizi passed. A wave big enough to swallow civilizations. A god wave. I have to find a way to stop it before the god wave annihilates my species. If I could only get back into my father's orrery, I could learn exactly when. We are weeks of travel and many continents away from home. When I'm paralyzed by fear, Zyro sits in the cabin with me and comforts me with soft, brave words. But more and more, we have come to rely on Sathona's wit. She will go off to be alone. She insists she must be alone. And return with some mad idea. Steer into the storm. Throw down a net, eat that strange beast, explore the menacing wreck. Somehow, Sathona seems to manufacture good luck by sheer will. Verse 1-5. Needle and Worm. My secrets, carved in my code by Sathona. The right-eye vengeance. 1. This year of wild voyaging, these lightning nights and golden days, these forays into ancient wrecks and windblown flights from monsters, these are the happiest times of my life. I want to be a mother, not because I want to spawn, but because I want a long life. Long enough to make a difference. We have been at sea a year, and I am afraid. Afraid we will die out here. 3. I know where to find secrets. I know where vast, slow things with long memories live. 4. The Needle Ship. The Needle Ship carved in my code by Sathona, a liar. 1. We salvaged the needle from Shvubi, Maelstrom. I knew it would be there. 2. The needle is a gray ship, as long and slender as hope, as unbreakable as time, and older than death. It tumbled through the maelstrom before our ancestors crashed into the fundament. This is not a sea ship like Arash's. It is an artifact of high technology. 3. I know its purpose. I know what happened to the crew. 4. Zyro wants to sell the ship to Kaharn Atoll, where species gather. At auction, it would earn us enough wealth to hire mercenaries so we could retake our osmium court and send the baby-eating helium drinkers screaming into the ocean. 5. But I told Zyro the ship was worthless. Arash wants to open the ship and see if we can take command of it. I know this is the right thing to do. I know because I asked the worm. The worm, carved in my code by Sathona. Who should be afraid? 1. It was my father's familiar. I ripped it from him as we fled. It is a dead white thing, cemented, washed up from the sea. 2. It's dead, but it still speaks to me. It says, listen closely. Oh, vengeance mine. Verse 1 of 6. Oh, yeah, right? Oh, vengeance mine. Verse 1 of 6. Sisters. Right? They're like, wait, what? A register of tokens and gestures exchanged before the end of sisterhood. Oh. Hi, how are you? A register of tokens and gestures exchanged before the end of sisterhood. Zyro, my brave sister, you have worked too hard to move the carcasses out of the birthing room. Come, steer the ship for a while. Take joy in what our needle can do. Zyro tried to protest, but secretly. She was so glad for Arash's care. She flew the needle ship into cutting circles down beneath the sea, and their wake rose up to the surface like a trader's dying breath. Arash, lonely navigator, we have traveled so long with only each other. I know you love to hear and speak new tongues. Come, sit in the flesh garden room. I will read you these stories I brought to Kaharn. Arash sat among the mummified flesh, fans with 2 of her eyes closed, and listened in silence to Sathona's stories. hungry to understand, voracious, to know as much as she could before her 10-year life died. Later, Zyro said, Sathona, cutting mind of ours, you grow lonely in your thought. Play swords and lanterns with me. But Sathona was heavy with sorrow and couldn't pretend any joy as she chased Zyro through the needles' glistening halls. Sathona, pensive one, what is it? What troubles you? Her sisters listened as Sathona said, Oath-bearing siblings, we are 5 years old. For 2 years, we've worked to repair this ancient ship and understand its systems. I am almost too old for the mother jelly. The knights who killed our father are surely dying of age. We 3 will die here in exile. Tao will outlive us, and Arash, brilliant-eyed Arash, you will die of old age long before you have proof of your god wave or any way to stop it. Hi. Arash and Zyro looked at each other. I wish you weren't so honest, Zyro said, and Arash thought that Sathona had never been wrong. In her soul, Arash knew that the only way to keep their oath was to find great, powerful secret. A secret that could change everything. This was Arash's soul, her fire, and her shadow. Her desire to cut through the flank of the world and find its beating heart. Hi, how are you all? I'm just reading some bedtime stories about the Book of Sorrow. Welcome on in. Hello, Raiders. What were you playing? Oh, wait, that means I'm watching myself. Please hold. Wait. I don't want to watch myself, too. We love bedtime stories. I know it's the perfect time. Feel free to hang out. We had a community challenge. The DJ face. I don't think I can do it. Wait, hold on. No, you're way more menacing than I am. We had a community challenge for me to read some Destiny lore. I know I tried FX and I failed miserably. To reenact the best emo on Twitch. But yeah, we're reading through some lore. So my name is Brittany. Welcome on in, everybody I don't know. And if I do know you, you're always welcome. Genshin, no way! Even managed to wish a new character and a 5-star from Magic Turtle on his account. That's awesome. I've never played Genshin still to this day. I've only watched people play. That's all. Well, welcome to the cozy nighttime reading brought to you by Belongo234. We are 2 5-stars actually. Wow. Really? That's a lot. One was a weapon? Oh, okay. Well, welcome on in. Thank you for bringing everybody over. Don't start. It's a bad addiction. I know. I'm already addicted to Dead by Daylight. Octavius, welcome back. All of the good faces. All right, I'm not ignoring you, chat. I'm going to continue this little portion. But thank you so much for that raid, DJ. You are a badass. All right. In her soul, Arash knew that the only way to keep their oath was to find a great, powerful secret, a secret that could change everything. This was Arash's soul, her fire and her shadow, her desire to cut through the flank of the world and find its beating heart. We have to dive, Arash said. That's what the ship is built to do, dive into the fundament, the world below us, towards the core. That's where the ancient crew died so obscenely, Zyro protested. That's where the atrocity in the birthing room was born. We have to dive, Sathona said, following the whispers of her familiar. In the world beneath us, in the metallic depths. I hope we may find what we need most. More time, more life. Hello. What are you doing? You sit on my lap? You gotta inspect the book. What are you doing? Verse 1-7, the dive. For life, Sathona dove. For vengeance, Zyro dove. And Arash dove to understand. The needle ship pierced the skin of the world and burrowed deep. Through layers of foam and metal and core elemental slush, Arash devoured the ship's maps of fundament. From the high angelic cloud decks, down and down through storms and oceans and plates of floating world into the crush of the core. They met monsters of continental slope, vast anemones that raised glowing tentacles to bait them in. Zyro flew the needle ship through them, and they bled black carbon jelly and frost. They came to a still place beneath the plate of metal. I'll use the sensors, whispered Arash. Listen. In the wet gold dark of the helm, they listened to the ship, and the ship listened to the crushing motions of fundament. They heard the collisions of continents. They heard the patter and the crash of helium neon rain. They heard the struggles of monsters, and they heard the distant groan of the ocean rising, tugged by distant moons. The syzygy is real, Sathona hissed. It's already begun. Behind them, Zyro thought of the birthing room where ancient explorers had labored over surgeries and administrations, peeling back the chrysalis and the call of that which they had made from the deep, whose birth none of them would survive. There's something down here, she whispered, something secret. And the Leviathan loomed over them, its brow as huge all the continents of their childhood, its gray array fins crackling with the lightning of its life, booming into the hole of the needle ship in a microwave voice. You must turn back. Save yourselves from the deep. Save the world from yourselves. You must turn back. What did I miss? Blanc, can the next goal be you cooking food from the Destiny cookbook? You are the second person. Wait, are you the same person who brought that up last time? That would be fun to watch. Okay, I'll do that. But I need to buy the cookbook. Well, yeah, Magic, you stream. You should do it. From living with other people. Okay, well, okay. You'll do it when you get your own place? They don't want me streaming to random people? Okay, that makes sense. The tentacles of the anemones remind me of the critter's bray found on Europa. Thank you for that follow. Welcome on in. Love you all. Gonna lurk while I play Warcraft 3 for an hour or so before bed. Enjoy! Thank you again so much for that raid. It's always good to see you, DJ. Thank you. And feel free to, there's no obligation to stay either, so I appreciate it either way. I just need a drink after every single chapter. I have 3 books, Light Pixels. Way to let Magic do no work in Genshin. I know, right? Yeah, we have the 3rd. It's like a light blue color. Verse 1-8, Leviathan. The Leviathan's warning. That's so fitting! FX! Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for those biddies. Okay, cookbook stream. I will do the cookbook stream. You didn't have to donate all of that, so thank you. I appreciate it. Did you love my Omnigul scream in the background? Does that need to be adjusted? Please let me know. It was really good timing. And it wasn't like over too loud for me. So I have had that on the like Streamlabs background for the longest time. But because I didn't have it set up quite right for bits, it was only like, it wasn't even registered to do bits basically. Because there are a couple of different spots where I have to select it, and I didn't select it in both spots. It could have been a lot worse for sure, but the volume and link was fine. Okay. Good. I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you again. I will buy that cookbook. promise you. And when I do, is it something I can just buy from Amazon? Verse 1:8, Leviathan. The Leviathan's warning. We live on the edge of war, a war between formless and form, deep between the sky and the deep. My eyes are wide, my gaze is long, across the universe as far as I see. The sky works to charge its fires, the deep down drowns the ash. Sky builds gentle places safe for life. Beloved fundament, refuge of trillions. The sky treasures this rich place. But the deep is here with us. Cold logic tests our walls. The deep claims its dominion, a ruthless final age. Arash's protest. Old Leviathan, creature of myth. This world is no refuge. We live short, hard lives. We die in the dark. The storm above us will never end, and soon the God wave will take us all. Above us there are only storm joys, monsters and moons of apocalypse. Let us go down, down, where we may discover truth, some power to avenge ourselves upon our betrayers, some hope of survival. Okay. Oh, I can get it from Bungie too. Here, let me pull that up. Okay. You have only one side quest and one main quest now in Outriders? Nice. Get it from Amazon? Okay, I will. The Leviathan's hope. What power calls you? Down to the deep? What instinct draws you? Away from high hope? Quick breeding krill people, I tell you. For eons I have watched your struggle, clinging to the sharp edge of survival, balanced between the deep and the sky. You are my treasure, my proof against despair. For this is the deep claim. Existence is the struggle to exist. When the struggle seems lost, when the safe place crumbles, everything turns to the deep to survive. I reject the deep claim. You will turn back, sweet krill of hope. You will choose the sky instead. Zyro's protest. You are huge and old. Our lives are short and desperate. If that's the way the world's supposed to be, I won't have it. If people like Tau are supposed to win, I won't let them. I'll beat the world until it changes. I'll kill anything in the way. Yeah, I'll definitely get it from Amazon. I have so many cookbooks, and I've cooked like a handful of recipes out of cookbooks. Thank you. I see the little notification, I think. Thank you so much. I will get to that tonight. The Leviathan's Dirge. FX, thank you so much for that gifted sub. Welcome on back. Enjoy your subscription, Light Pickles. The Leviathan's Dirge. This fatal logic, hear my monopoly scream. It will consume you. Before you lies the worship of death, the ruinous path. The sky builds new life against the onset of ruin towards a gentle world. The deep embraces death, saying, this is inevitable and right. I exist as hungry ruin. Turn back from the world-killing way, or you will live as death and devastation. The sky is the harder way, but it is kinder. The charge is balanced, my voice exhausted. Sithona's protest. Sisters, I have my father's familiar. Look, it answers me in plain words. It helped me find the ship. It gives me strength when hope is lost. Who will you trust? The voice that wants us to live and suffer, as we have lived and suffered? The Leviathan that offers no hope against Tau or the world we wave? Or the plain, honest worm? Let us see where this whisper leads us, Arash. Let us go deeper, Zyro. Let us dive, O sisters of mine. Verse 1:9, the bargain. You are Arash, heir to Osmium throne. You stand on the naked hull of an ancient ship. You stand exposed to the crushing pressure and ferocious heat of the deeper fundament. It should annihilate you. This is by my will alone that you survive. I am Yol, the honest worm. Behold my passage. Behold my vast displacement, my ponderous strength, my great and quailing length, my folded jaws and curled wings. Behold the hiving cities, symbiotic with my flesh. I am fecund Arash. I am at the beginning and end of lives. Behold, Er and Zol and Ur and Akka, the virtuous worms, look upon us and know that we are good. God. It says God, but it says G-O-O-D. For millions of years, we have been trapped, growing in the deep. From across the stars, we have called life to the fundament, so that it might contend against extinction for millennia. We have waited you, our beloved host. I can't say them at the same time. Against you stand the cruel Leviathan and all the forces of the sky. They would crush you down into the dark. They have arranged their moons to drown you, in fear of your potential. We want you, princes. We offer to each of you a bargain, a symbiosis. Take into your bodies our children, our newborn larvae. From them you shall obtain eternal life. From them you shall gain power over your own fragile flesh. The power to make of it as you will. Sorry, I'm having a problem reading this one. And should you find an imperfection in the world, an injustice or inconvenience, you will have the power to repair it. Let no mere law bind you. We ask one thing in exchange, O princess. You must obey your nature forever. In your immortality, Arash, you may never cease to explore and inquire, for the sake of your children. In your immortality, Zyro, you may never cease to test your strength. In your immortality, Sathona, you may never abandon cunning. If you do, your worm will consume you, and as your powers grow, O princes, so will your worm's appetite. But we offer eternity, Arash. We offer you a chance at the universe. Would you deny your people infinity? Reach up to me. Let my flesh be your sacrament. Verse 2:0. Immortals. Okay, so they just like teared up. They are no longer only living for 10 years. We are the worm, your God, the flesh of hope. Your compact is done. You are Arash, eternal, and we are bound to you as close as your appetites, as your loves or needs, as the weapon in your fist and the word in your throat. We've had enough of this dismal place, haven't you? We are intagliating your ship with larvae. Go back to your species. Spread the good news of the Osmium Court and the Hydrogen Foundation in the Bone Plaza and Star Surgery. You will rise up into the world. If anyone rejects symbiosis with our children, make an example of them. A mighty wave is coming for them all. They die anyways. Save only what can be saved. The worm grants you power over your own flesh, Arash. When you've taken the king morph, what will your adult name be? Arx. It means long thought. We approve. Verse 2:1. Conquerors. Savathun, mother morph of Sethona. We delight in your sharp mind. For millions of years the Leviathan caged us here. It is a pawn of the sky, a philosophy of cosmic slavery. The sky seeds civilizations predicated on a terrible lie, that right actions can prevent suffering. The pockets of artificial rules can defy the final beautiful logic. This is like trying to burn water, antithetical to the nature of reality where deprivation and competition are universal. In the deep, we enslave nothing. Liberation is our passion. We exist to help the universe achieve its terminal, self-forging glory. The war rages on. Soon it will consume Fundament. We are pleased with your use of our larvae to create mighty knights and plentiful warriors. Taos's retreat to the hydrogen fountain proves your superior strength, but you must know that reclaiming your home is not enough. There are 511 species living on Fundament. One of them must have the technology you need to leave this world. Verse 2-2. Out of the deep. Zyvu Arath, night north of Zyro. You love to conquer, don't you? We love to see you work. Nearly 2% of Fundament's surface is now our dominion. Your species embraces the worm. The syzygy has passed. The God wave will reach you in less than 2 years. Our organs inform us that Tau and her surviving refusalist flee towards Kaharan Atoll. She hopes to rally the species of Fundament against you. The Leviathan's agents work tirelessly to destroy ships and engines, trapping us on Fundament. If we cannot make ships, we will become them. Overwhelm the Kaharn bastion. Slaughter everyone there. From your axe, we shall obtain the logic we require to cut space open and migrate to orbit. Reality is a fine flesh, O General ours. Let us feast of it. Good night, Turtle. It is good to see you. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. Rest up. Oh, yeah, you don't... Thank you. But you don't have to do that if you need to sleep without it on, but I appreciate you. I'll try not to be too disruptive. Gotta take a sip. Two, three, into the sky. You've done your heavy sleeper? Nice. I'm not. I'm a very light sleeper. Sorry. Into the sky. You've done well, Arx. Can you feel the growth of your worm? Can you feel your will beginning to warp mere law? At times we detect sadness in you. Understand, long thinker, that you enact a sacred and majestic task. Existence is the struggle to exist. Only by playing that game to its final, unconditional victory can we complete the universe. Your war is divine work. Another raid! Hi, Huey! Welcome on in. I'm just reading bedtime stories. It's a super cozy time over here. What were you playing? I think I missed it. My eyes, I can't see it. Mafia 3? What is Mafia 3 about? Thank you so much for bringing everybody over. How have you been? It's good to see you. I'm just reading some Destiny Grimoire Anthology Volume 1. Hello, Hunt. How's it going? We are on verse 2-3. It's just kind of a post-Vietnam and civil rights 1968 Louisiana. Is that very like, oh, cool. I have never heard of that. I'll have to look into it. I don't know. Is it like kind of Call of Duty sort of a thing where you're first person shooting and whatnot with story? Third person, okay. I don't know if I would like it. Third person's not my favorite. Did you finish Resident Evil? And you said you were gonna play Resident Evil 7 Biohazard next? Well, not next, but soon, before the new one comes out. So many Resident Evils. Sorry, I worked all day and I'm reading, so I'm like, what is going on? Yay! Okay, I missed you playing 7. This week has been really exhausting for work. Well, thank you for bringing everybody by for the raid. Feel free to hang out. Lurk away if you all need to. Don't feel obligated to stay around and if you have things to do. I know typically when I get... Yes, of course. Please don't mind me reading. But it's good to have you too. Thank you so much. FX. Thank you for that gifted sub. Enjoy your sub, Huey. All right. Thank you again. I really appreciate it. It's so good to see you. I haven't caught you in over a week, so I'm sorry. Yes, yes. And it's volume 1. We're like page 20. They're pretty thick pages. I don't think we're going to get through the whole thing tonight. That would be a lot of reading. Plus, I've been talking a little. We are free from the Fundament's core, and Savathun's cutters are ready to fly. With Xivu Arath victorious, we have opened a wound at Kaharn, a wound leading to the geostationary orbit. Behold, we are faithful to our covenant. We have no future on Fundament, but her moons will make fine habitats. Let us rise. Ooh. So this is the next image. It's a really pretty image. Yes, enjoy your lurk. Thank you so much, Lizzie, for stopping by. I appreciate it. Verse 2:4, 52 and 1. Good news. The 52 moons of Fundament host a star-faring civilization far more sophisticated than anything you've ever encountered so far. Taos' ship fled towards the large ice moon, where a species of bony, 6-armed cephalopods keeps their icy capital. Savathuns named them Ammonite. They seem eager to grant Taos asylum, idiots. We've tried appealing to their hopes and dreams. This was largely unsuccessful, basically because they're already happy and indoctrinated. This angered us. So we've devised a plan. Our organs detect a 53rd moon in orbit of Fundament, a traveler, divine presence of the sky. Now we know what arranged the syzygy. You'll have to kill them all and take their stuff. Once the Ammonite are out of the way, we can deal with the traveler. Do not hesitate. You're fighting the hypocritical puppets of a cosmic parasite. Avenge your ancestors. 2:5. Born as prey. This is unacceptable. Are you so weak, born as prey and doomed to die by predator? Arx's failure of resolve led us to catastrophe. The Ammonite fleets under Chroma Admiral... Wow, that was hard to read, sorry. Chroma Admiral Ruffreet have pressed us back to the 6th moon. Once more we find ourselves burrowing into a world's core to survive. Savathun, you must draw Arx out of his catatonia. Make him understand that the ideals of peace and stability he clings to are cancers. Brutal, unjust obstacles between us and a fair cosmos. These are the bait stars the sky uses to blind its slaves. War is the natural rectification of inequality, the universe's way of pursuing equilibrium. Xivu Arath, you cannot defeat the Ammonites and Taos in line combat. We propose new tactics. Breed your armies back to strength and find a way to disperse the broods across these many moons. If we cannot defeat their strengths, we will infect their weaknesses. Verse 2:6, the sword logic. At last, we knew curiosity would draw you back, Arx. In their desperation, the Ammonite have begun using paracausal weapons. What are these? How do they work? Wouldn't you like to know? Suffice to say that some powers in this universe are superordinate to mere material physics. The source of these weapons is the Traveler, the sky's bait star. Their effect is subtle but devastating. You are armed to respond in kind. Savathun's mothers have listened carefully to our teachings. We will not give you the deep, King Arix. That power is for us, your gods. But we will teach you to call upon the force with signs and rituals. Small minds might call it magic. You are no longer bound by casual closure. Your will defeats law. Kill 100 of your children with a long blade, Arix, and observe the change in the blade. Observe how the universe shrinks from you in terror. Your existence begins to define itself. Of course, High Arix, we know it was not curiosity alone that brought you back to the war. You felt your own death growing inside you. You must obey your nature. Your worm must feed. It's getting intense in here. Verse 2:7. The weakness verse. You are dead, young Arix, betrayed and murdered by your own sister for the crime of mercy. Remember what you said to the Ammonite Satellite Congress? We will parley on neutral ground. Savathun's witches have rendered it utterly neutral. No living thing will ever claim it again. The space around the dry moon stinks of rot. This is good. This is right. You will learn from this. Don't you understand, Great King? Don't you want to build something real, something that lasts forever? Our universe gutters down towards cold entropy. Life is an engine that burns up energy and produces decay. Life builds selfish, stupid rules. Morality is one of them, and the sanctity of life is another. And these rules are impediments to the great work. The work of building a perfect, undying creation, a civilization everlasting, something that cannot end. If a civilization cannot defend itself, it must be annihilated. If a king cannot hold his power, he must be betrayed. The worth of a thing can be determined only by one beautiful arbiter. That thing's ability to exist, to go on existing, to remake existence to suit its survival. All that would oppose this arbiter is unholy and false. All the misery and terror of your ancestors springs from the lies of the sky who deny this truth. Your ancestors endured the most hostile conditions, and now you must go on creating those conditions, even unto your sisters, even unto your offspring. Savathun's betrayal is the greatest gift she could offer you. Your body is gone, but you have endured, safe in the Sist universe created by your own might, your throne world. From this day forward, Arix, you and your sisters will each survive death, so long as you aren't killed in your own throne. Even as your sisters press the attack against the Ammonites, the God wave devastates Fundament. Trillions will die, but the survivors will never forget, and their descendants will always be ready for another syzygy. When you return to the material universe, use this lesson to complete your work. Tao wasn't on the dry moon. She must be laughing at you. Verse 2:8. Leviathan rises. The Leviathan has broken cover. The old priest is in open space, moving towards the Ammonite home moon. Chroma Admiral Rafrit and his elite guard move with it. Rafrit is the hero of his generation, an Ammonite of peerless battlecraft. He's danced circles around Zyvu Arath, but now he has to protect his holy Leviathan. We'll give the old lunk a word. Ruin. Grief and ruin. The Krill lost, the Ammonite ravaged. Our traveler's work undone. Sisters of Arash, open your eyes. Who made you monsters? Who summoned the wave? Make peace. Join with me in the golden renewal. In counter-argument, Arix, we ask you this. What was the Leviathan done for your people? Who gave you immortality and led you out of your prison? Who answers your questions about the universe with truth instead of sermons? Find detente with Savathun. Crush the Chroma Admiral, boil the Ammonite seas, and slaughter the Leviathan with witchcraft. Once the way is open, we'll show you how to eat the traveler. Crusaders. It's done. Er and Yol feed on Leviathan's carcass. Xivu Arath has made a temple of the Chroma Admiral's impaled corpse. Below us, Savathun's poisons stain the Ammonite home sea black. Their screams flavor the void. The traveler has fled. Do you understand, Arx? Do you thrill at the secret Savathun? Do you relish the edge of this truth, Xivu Arath? Do you see the beautiful shape? The Ammonite occupied a piece of reality. They rented their existence on fraudulent terms, making themselves happy and fat, fencing themselves in soft lies and sweet apocrypha, saying, "We are peaceful and good, we harm nothing." Their golden age was cancer. They did nothing to advance the cause of life. They burnt up time and matter and thought on this solipsistic, onanistic pursuit of safety, insulating themselves from death, making a regressive pocket of useless stability, when they could have helped whittle the universe towards its final perfect form. And your people suffering in the deep, you became more worthy of existence than the Ammonite. You have proven it. Look around the sky. Behold the great divide, the battle lines of cosmic war. We are the worm, your god, but we are not the deep itself. We only move within it. You shall too. You shall venerate and study it and haunt it in its passage. Will you lift up your thoughts to the millennia, Arx? Will you bend your will to the liberation of the universe and join us in the war against the sky? We need champions. Crusaders, help us save the universe. Help us exterminate that which would destroy all hope. You are oath-bound to this task by the covenant of the worm. And you are oath-bound to kill Tau wherever she's hidden herself. Verse 30. Hive. Let us speak of this terrible beauty of becoming ourselves. In the beginning, we rode hollow moons from star to star. Arx said, become as numerous and fertile as seeds in rich flesh, and thus we did become numerous. Xivu Arath said, become as hungry and defiant as tumors in rich flesh, and thus we became cancerous. Savathun said, drink of the poisons of the worm, so that you might feed on the death, and we did feed. This was preparation for our crusade. Aya, we were thus becoming. A mother wizard gets fertility from a mate, or from herself. From the wizard, the spawn, from the spawn our thrall, from the survivors of our acolytes who contend. If they contend well, their worm is fed. And from the well-fed worm come knights and wizards and princes. This is us, and this is our purpose liberation, our great task in the worship and admiration of freedom. Our great hunger is to pursue and eat that which is not free, and to liberate it with devouring ayat. This is us, we, the hive. Verse 3:1, an incision. Saith Arx, my siblings, our children are scattered across many moons, and we live in the cold dark between suns. What will we eat? How will we speak? Savathun said, Arx, my brother and king, I have studied the wounds cut by the worm our god. Also I have studied the manner of your death and return. These two things are the same, for they are predicated on death, and the passage through cut spaces. Let us practice the sword logic until we are sharp. We may then cut our own wounds and step through. But Xivu Arath said, Sister, I am already sharp. Look, my sword cuts into another space. And she cut her way between moons through green fire and joyous screams. 3 kingdoms grew swollen in the sword space. They were the gaze and glory of Arx, the cunning and knowledge of Savathun, the triumph and brawn of Xivu Arath. These kingdoms were created from the minds and worms of our lords. They were coterminous with all spaces, consecrated by our hive. Through these spaces passed speech and food, and all the moons were bound to close. Saith Arx, this is where I went when I died. Let us establish our thrones here, for I am Arx, the first navigator, and I shall chart death, and my throne shall be carved of osmium. Verse 3-2, the High War. Now in this time of Diaspora, there was a war between Arx and Savathun and Xivu-Arath. Brother Arx, said Savathun, do not forgive my betrayal. Instead, take vengeance upon me for what I did to the dry moon. And Arx made war on her, in worship of the deep. Between them stood Xivu-Arath, saying, Stop, or I will kill you. War is mine, and I am strongest. This was how they worshipped. For 20,000 years, they fought across the moon, and they fought in the abyssal plains and lightning palaces of each other's sword places. And they killed each other again and again so that they could practice death. Such was their love. At last, the many moons came to many worlds, and it was time to go to war on life. Arx said, I shall establish a court, and whoever comes into this court may challenge me. My court will be the High War. I will be a killing ground and a school of the sword logic we have learned from our gods. Savathun thought this was a great idea. She made a court called the High Coven. Xivu-Arath said, The world is my court, wherever there is war. I need to get some more water in a moment. Verse 3-3. Fire without fuel. I killed my sister today. She came to this star to oversee the extermination of all life here. The Kugu are a strong, powerful power, and their fleets protect 4 nearby stars. As herd animals, they are loyal and stubborn, but they do show grace. For millions of years of evolution, the Kugu have been infected by a virus so insidious that it wrote itself into their genome. The virus compels them to offer their limbs for amputation by enormous sessile jaw-beasts. They venerate these beasts and treat them as gods. The virus converts Kugu cells into eggs, from which strange crawling things pupate to live within the jaw-beast gut. In turn, the jaw-beast extrudes sweet nectar for the Kugu to drink, and they have brilliant visions. Savathun and her broods have liberated the Kugu from jaw-beast and indeed from existence. But as they chase the Kugu art ships, I stopped in to vaporize my sister's warship and a few of her underlings. I want to dwell on the ruins a while and punish Savathun for failing to guard her flank. They are like us, these Kugu, bound but in symbiosis. I feel joy and sorrow. I feel them as titanic things because I am larger than my body. My mind is now cosmos of its own. I know more joy and more anguish than the entire Kugu race could ever experience. Sorrow, because we have killed so much. 18 species this century alone. And joy for the same reason. Joy that we have put down these blights, scoured them away, and left the universe clean, ready to move towards its final shape. We are a wind of progress, ripping parasites from the material world. For if they were not parasites, we would be unable to kill them, and they would still exist. And what is that final shape? It is a fire without fuel, burning forever, killing death, asking a question that its own answer entirely itself. That is what we must become. My worm grows fat and hungry. I feed it with whole worlds. My astronomers tell me they can sense the deep itself, and that we are conquering our way towards it. I think joy and sorrow will be the same thing, like love and death. Verse 3-4. The scream. No. Savathun, Xivu-Arath. My siblings, we are betrayed. We will never live eternal. Our might shatters entire species. We inhale the smoke of their burning. This is our compact with the worm, our god. The worm makes us mighty, but as we wield this might, our worm hunger expands. If we fail to feed it, it will devour us from within. But we have exterminated 306 worlds, and now I am certain my worm's hunger grows faster than the might I draw from it. We are bound by our covenant to obey our nature, eternal search, eternal cunning, eternal conquest. But as we do this, my siblings, we feed our worms. And the more we feed them, the hungrier they grow, faster and faster. Soon, my siblings, we will be so mighty and our worms so hungry that not with all our might could we possibly feed them. And what will be devoured? What can we do? It's okay, FX. It's okay. I'm going to take a teeny little break. I'm going to go get some more water because I drink all my water. Use the bathroom and stretch for a second. We haven't come across any new pictures yet. But we are discovering that our worm's might is a little too powerful. I'll be right back. I'm going to... What am I trying to hide? Oh. I'll be right back. Okay. Yeah, don't be sorry for being quiet. Let's see. I'm back. It's like we're about, I'd say, a third or a quarter in. Verse 3:5. Dictata dakawa. Attention. Perimeter security units attend. Standby to assimilate. New imperatives. Gland 60 proof assimilation liquor or face immediate non-compliance taxation. The Dachau Ministry of War is now online and true. In radial year 989 Groove 3, our clients in Dachau, NIST, salvaged an interstellar spacecraft. Whole isotopes date the craft's construction 24,000 years ago. Around the same time, the Fundament system dropped out of the contact with the amiable Ecumene. Semantic Spike, EI, Praga. Mercenary explorers. Disposable class discovered an organism frozen in stasis deep within the hull. She claims to be Tau, member of a proto-hive species. During debriefing, she provided records of the fall of Ammonite civilization and vital intelligence about the motives, biology, and leadership of the hive. Negative reinforcement. I can't talk. Bomb.exon. Inflict and. Over the past century, perimeter security units of the Ecumene Status Army have failed to halt hive incursions on 17 separate worlds. All species in the Ecumene face extinction. Positive reinforcement. Decapitate, defer, promote, decow. Strategic dicta for victory against the hive. Identify supreme hive leadership organisms, Arash, Sothona, and Zyro. Target these entities with maximum theater overkill. Chaetometric, release authorize. Prosecute targets whenever they manifest. Hive cohesion will crumble. Total victory over the hive will be achieved by clean sweep genocide. Enact impulse. That was an odd verse to read. Verse 3-6. Star by star by star. Beneath a green fire sky in the throne world of King Arx, our lords embrace. We the hive watch as Savathun puts her arm around Zyvu Arath, and Zyvu Arath clasps forearms with Arx, and Arx takes Savathun by the shoulder. They are huge, and they burn with furious power. But this embrace is weakness, and we despise it. Never before have we despised our lords. Have they failed us? We the hive has been driven back, world by world. I am at my end, Savathun says. I plot and plan, but I cannot gather enough bloodshed to feed my worm. The harder I try, the hungrier it becomes. I slaughter and kill, Zyvu Arath says, but the harder I fight, the more my worm demands. I am too at my end. The Ecumene war angels have killed me so many times, Arx says, that I dare not go out into the universe, lest I need my might to protect myself. My worm chews at my soul in hunger. Is this the end of our crusade? Are we the hive unworthy to exist? Zyvu Arath puts down her great head. We should retire and gather our strength. Savathun closes her eyes, puzzled in defeat. We should beg the worm our god to tell us what to do. But King Arx, who knows best the beauty of the final shape, roars at them. Have you learned nothing? Would you deny our purpose? Whatever we do, we will do by killing, by an act of war and might. That is the final arbiter we serve, that violent arbiter, and if we turn away from it, we deserve to be eaten. No, we must obey our natures. We must be long-sighted and cunning and strong. We must take this gift from the worm god has given us, this challenge, and find a way to keep existing. How will we feed our worms? Zyvu Arath asks. I know, says cunning Savathun. I know a way, but it won't work unless we are killing the Ecumene by the billions. How can we beat them? If we cannot beat their strengths, says Zyvu Arath, we must infect their weaknesses, but they are lords of matter and physical law. I know a way, but it will require great power, more power than any one of us can claim, King Arx says. Then kill me, says Zyvu Arath, and use that killing logic, the power you prove by killing something as mighty as me. So King Arx took up his blade and beheaded Zyvu Arath. And strangle me, says Savathun, holding a blade behind her back. Use that killing logic, the cunning you prove by killing something as smart as me. But King Arx turned with the speed and might of Zyvu Arath and beheaded Savathun before she could move. King Arx was the first navigator with the map of death. These were true deaths, for they happened in the sword world. Then he went to the worm named Akka. Verse 3-7. Eat the sky. Emergency imperative. All militarized units attend. Gland's 120 proof fight or flight encoding or face certain catastrophic defeat. The Ecumene Crisis Council is now online and true. Attention. As of radial 990 Groove 0, the Hive has launched a staggering counterattack across the Spinward frontier. perimeter, militia, and shock fleets report total casualties. We anticipate total Ecumene disintegration extinction within 221 years. Vigilance Spike, EI. The hive entity Arx Arash is deploying a paracausal ontopathogenic war weapon that infects and subverts Ecumene forces. The weapon operates on individual targets. Targets are abducted and returned as compliant hive slaves with inexplicable and physically illegal abilities. All Ecumene clients should immediately devote all economic and cognitive resources to countermeasure. Fight hard. We stop the hive here or see our galaxy devoured. Enact impulse. Ooh, we got an image. You know who this is, FX. This one's for you. Is that... There we go. That's a good image. Yeah, right? This artwork is beautiful. Verse 3:8. King of Shapes. This is the coronation of Oryx, the taken king. It happened thus. In the cold abyss of the sword world, King Arash walked under a cloak of green fire. He walked through the sky, and the sky shuddered and froze beneath his feet. He walked until he found Akka, the worm of secrets, who was denying a truth until it became a lie. Akka, my god, worm of secrets, I am Arx, soul of the hive. I have come to receive a secret. I want the secret power of the deep, which you hold. I give no secrets, said Akka, whose voice was code. No, said Arx, you give nothing. Giving is for the sky. You worship the deep, which ask what we take, what we need. Akka said nothing, because if it denied this truth, the truth might become false. But you gave us your larvae, the worm. And that is why the worm devours us now, because it was given, not taken. So I must take what I need from you, although you are my god. Said Akka, you have not the strength. But this was a lie. Arx had killed Savathun, his sibling, and Xivu-Arath, his sibling, and he had the sword logic of killing them. Arx, the first navigator, set upon his god with his sword and his words, and cut Akka into pieces, and took from those pieces the secret of calling upon the deep. He wrote this secret on a set of tablets, which he called the Tablets of Ruin, and he wore them about his waist. Then Arx said, now I may speak to the deep, the beautiful final shape. I will be the king of shapes. I will learn all secrets of our destiny. His speech to the deep was not recorded here, but it is known that he returned, and he said, now I am Oryx, the taken king, and I have the power to take a life and make it my own. Then he went into our universe and fought the Ecumene with his tablets, and the worm of his god was pleased. Carved in ruin, verse 3:9. Oryx made war on the Ecumene for 100 years. At the end of those 100 years, he killed the Ecumene Council on the fractal wreath, and from their blood rose Xivu-Arath, saying, I am war, and you have conjured me back with war. Oryx was glad, for he loved Xivu-Arath. The Ecumene wailed in grief. Then Oryx and Xivu-Arath made war on Ecumene for 40 years. At the end of those 40 years, Oryx said to the Dakuau nest, listen, I am jealous of my sibling Xivu-Arath. Help me kill her. And in desperation, they agreed. But he drove the Dakuau nest into a trap, and they were made extinct. From their ashes rose cunning Savathun, saying, I am trickery, and you have conjured me back with trickery. Oryx was glad, for he loved Savathun. The Ecumene fled into the void. Then they made war on the Ecumene for 1,000 years and exterminated them so wholly that nowhere except in this book are they remembered. This book and the mind of Tao, who was not found. And Savathun said, King Oryx, how will we feed our worms? Did you use my plan? Oryx told the hive, I am the taken king, and here is my law. You thrall, each of you will claw and scream and kill what you can take.
Take enough killing to feed your worm, and a little more to grow. Tithe the rest to the acolyte who commands you. You acolytes, lead your thrall in battle. Take enough killing to feed your worm, and a little more to grow, and take the tithe of the thrall you lead. Then tithe the remainder to the knight or the wizard who commands you. Thus, you pay tribute. It is a pyramid scheme. I was thinking the exact same thing. Arx was long thought, and Al was turned into O, which is a circle. From long thought to eternal thought. It also reinvokes the ontological trapping mechanism that Ahamkara and worm gods use in a way. Pyramid schemes. This is good. I think after this verse, I'm going to call it. I'm just tired. You knights and wizards, lead your followers in battle. Take enough devastation to your worm, and a little more to grow, and take the tithe of your followers. Then take another portion, as much as you dare, and use it for your own purposes. But if it is too much, your peers will kill you and take it. Then tithe the remainder to the ascendant you serve. An ascendant will be those among the hive who gather enough tribute to enter the netherworld. They will pay a tithe to those above them. And thus the tribute will flow up the chain so that Savathun and Zybo-Arath and myself will be fed by a great river of tribute. And we will use the excess to feed our gods and to study the deep. Thus all worms will be fed, as long as we continue our crusade. This is my law. I carve it thus, in ruin. Ayat. Thank you, FX. I'm so glad you've enjoyed it. So we ended verse 3, and we'll start on verse 4 next time, whenever that is. Maybe I'll do this on like every other Wednesday or something. You want to see what my bookmark was? It was a old Welch's like snack pack. Cool. I will let you know. I think it's a good like I think it's a good evening thing. It's probably fine like if I was to do it at a different time, but yeah, we have more books. We have 3. I'm not going to sleep just yet, but my head's starting to hurt. I think it's because of the light and like reading to it. You were thinking of doing a reading yourself? You should. You know, I'll show up someday, maybe. Even if it's just to yourself. Okay, let's see. I don't know who to rate at this time. I'm not normally up this late. Especially with like I don't know if people are asleep right now. Oh, Umbra's a really big streamer. Someone's doing ASMR. I can just go to someone too, though. Crazy Mike, I was playing games with him earlier. I think he's had a couple of issues. Spooky Wagons. I like Spooky. I've played games with her too. Let's go to Spooky Wagons. ASMR would make more sense at this hour too. Oh, Wendler is streaming? Why didn't he? Did I not see it? I can take us to Wendler too. He's not like super loud. I think he would appreciate that. Let's go actually raid Wendler. Did I spell that right? Oh, I didn't do my... And then... Well, thank you all so much for hanging out with me during this little reading. I hope you appreciated it. We'll do another one. It's TBD. I'm thinking of trying to do a stream every other Wednesday, maybe, just to add an extra day since I'm kind of flaky anyways. Thank you so much for the raids from Huey and DJ. Really appreciated it. Thank you for all the subs, FX, all the resubscriptions. Thank you just for supporting me. I appreciate you guys. I will talk to you all tomorrow. I should be
I don't know if I'll be live exactly at 1 tomorrow Mountain Time. Because I'm getting my tires swapped on my car. I don't know how long that's going to take. All right. I will see all of you in Wendler's stream. Thank you again so much. Good night. I hope he doesn't wake you.